Oh yeah, Blackson and the Hizzle, all the shizzle dizzle. We got an excellent show here today. We got Yanga coming on in a few minutes. Yo, Yanga, hit the. I sent it to your email. Well, let me see if I can just send it in the chat. See if we can just send it to the chat. I hope my mic. This is my first video without my headset, so I hope it sounds good, y'all. Yanga, I sent the link. Okay, so man, we just gonna do a freestyle today, man. You know, we're gonna do a freestyle. This is my new camera. I hope y'all like it. It's like I said, it's got a mic already hooked up in it, so we'll see how this works out. We'll see how this works out. But waiting on Yanga to get here, man. Man, it's some interesting news. Some interesting news out there. Where do I start? Shit. Oh, we got Yanga. Got Yanga. Hold on. Wait a minute. Oh, it's a little low. Okay. Yanga, what's good, man?
Man, what's good, man? What's good?
Shit, shit. Hey, how's my thing? Sound good?
It sounds good, nice and loud. Sound like you ready to get back into debate.
Oh shoot, okay. Hey, I got some. Oh man, boy. Let me tell you, I got some topics, but yeah, we'll talk about here, man. I got some topics, but you know. Anywho, what's going on, fam? What's going on?
Man, what's going on, man? Everything and nothing at the same time, man. I had a little. Let me see if I can get some love out of this. I'm doing a lot. I had a little guest lined up, and unfortunately, that fell through. But it's still so much stuff going on, man. That
right.
We can have interesting topics. What's going on in your world?
Shit, man. Just same old, man. What up, Deacon? What up, Twin? Shout out to y'all.
What up?
Yeah, man. Yeah, so just trying to get stuff lined up for the week. I got Nature May coming.
Okay.
Dr. Uma, you met Dr. Uma a long time ago, back in the day.
Yeah.
Champion for legalization of the marijuana.
Absolutely. When can we expect Dr. Uma on?
Oh yeah. I got to email her, get her confirmation because she's up in Massachusetts right now. So we're just working on trying to coordinate.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Yeah, man. We on today. Man, I don't know where Yanga want to go with this, but man, I had something on my mind. I was gonna do a show on this, but it's kind of a crazy topic, man.
Go on and do it. Hold on, let me get my coffee, man. Why you go on and do it, man? I'm listening.
Okay. I'm gonna go there, y'all. Y'all relax. Y'all just get back. I got something I want to talk about. So they lock up a transvestite in an all-women's prison, right? Okay. Huh?
Okay, I missed it. Say it again.
Okay, so they locked up a transvestite in an all-women's prison. Because we live in an age where you got to have political. Well, we live in a weird age now, but I guess they didn't want to get sued. So, like, you know what? We're gonna let the transvestite go into women's prison, right? So, 2 female inmates get pregnant. So now they want to send them to the male's prison. You can't make this. You can't make this up. God damn.
I feel like Don King. But only in America. Really, man. And that's a very real issue. I mean, things like that have been brought up before when they were talking about going, them using bathrooms
Right.
that were, you know, for other people. I mean, or for other genders.
Right.
I mean, damn. How do you, that's a real problem. And it's getting so that certain topics and issues you can't even really touch, or you get labeled homophobic, or, you know, looked at as some type of tyrant. But that just goes to show those are very real issues that have to be and should be addressed. So what's happening from this point? Are they suing the prison system or something? I know somebody's getting sued.
So okay, so the transvestite is going to be sent to a male facility.
Oh my God! Oh, that's a wrap.
Oh yeah. But you know, I mean, is it a wrap though? I mean, shit. Is it?
I mean,
I mean,
it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap for the purposes they sent the transvestite to women prison. You know, if they sent the transvestite to a woman prison to protect the individual, then yeah, I mean,
that liberal nonsense.
You know,
so I get what you're saying.
And it's like, really, depending on how far along the procedure. Yeah, you have homosexuality in prison, but largely they still probably look like men. They probably haven't gone through any type of procedure to make them look like women. So, I guess the conditions would also depend on how much of the procedure this individual has had to look like a woman.
Right. Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Damn, I did not come prepared tonight because I was going to show his face and everything. And I was debating whether I would even want to bring this up, but yeah, I said, God damn,
It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. I'm gonna, because this is a fight that the LBGTQ, did I get all the alphabets? I think I got all of them. I be working on being politically correct. This is a fight that, that they've been waging, that they're going to have to wage. This is also gives the conservative right ammunition for their fight against that type of genderlessness when it comes to facilities and the use of facilities. So that shit's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. America, due to America just trying to embrace this whole concept of, I guess, freedom, I don't know, it creates unique problems for itself. So it's going to be unique to see how shit plays out through their system in the courts.
Absolutely. It's going to be very interesting, man. That's just something in the news. Like, wow, man, they take this liberalism too far.
Real shit. What's going on with the? I knew at one point in time, are they still doing the hearings for the insurrection? Those yahoos that stormed the Capitol.
I haven't been following it, Yanga. Damn, I'm gonna have to get abreast on that because I have kind of, I haven't. It seemed like the new, because Trump's first wife died, so that kind of took away from. His first wife, fell down the stairs or something. So,
wow.
Yeah. So I haven't really. I got to get abreast on that. Yanga. So yeah, man. If you give me a week,
we can come back and I was just seeing if, we was just throwing some things out there. If anybody in the chat knows anything, throw something up. Just throwing out there because,
let's talk about it. Let's talk about what we know, though.
All right, shit. We can talk about it. I mean, I'm like you. I hadn't really been up on it like I should. I think what it caught my interest was that Bannon was going to testify. And if we know, to go a little bit into Bannon, Bannon served on Trump's staff. Bannon is also, I believe, the editor, publisher of a far-right extremist publication, or magazine or some news type paper. I couldn't tell you. So he's heavily tied into that. And then, so all of this was coming out in the hearings. What's the name of that group? QAnon.
You got QAnon, and you got the Proud Boys, and then you got
Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers. I mean, shit was really coming out, and I don't know if we knew how serious it was, man. Like, they were talking about there were explosives down there. There were people coming with the specific intent to do bodily harm and injury and damage and shit. I mean, it was like an insurrection. Right. So, paying attention to this, at least to a degree, being hip to what's going on to a degree, I think is important, because it shapes future politics. It shows how populist movements can really sway politicians, because you still have conservatives up there trying to pillow or cushion the seriousness of it. And then you have on the more moderate to liberal side, you're going to have people who, if we're not educated and aware to what's happening, are going to use fear tactics, which they always use to get us to fit nicely and neatly into their hip pocket.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we have to be very aware of what's going around, and the ability of the people who have interest and ties to it, their ability to weaponize issues to sway us. You know what I'm saying? So, knowledge of it minimizes the effect. But yeah, that's what's going on, man. And we finding out that it is, you always have Black people talking about we're at war, we're at war, we're at war. Looking a little bit at this trial, we're finding out that it is not just rhetoric, that there are real elements and forces out there conspiring.
That's right.
Just beyond suppress us, but to agitate us, to murder us, to agitate us, to goad us into what they call a civil war.
Right.
What they call a civil war. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of, do you remember what Trump said? Word for word?
Because that's word for word from verbatim, that he was like, show up to the mall. I promise there's going to be something or something. He did what politicians do. He did an Obama. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. I don't know what we can do, but we goddamn can do it.
Okay. And with that being said, Yanga, oh geez, I mean, how do we, and I just was reading this book on Stalin. How do we hold, let's say I'm a politician, how does the court system hold the politician is what a person says to grown ass people? Like how? Like what?
Well, there's an amount of accountability that comes with anything. It's like you and I could, if we got out there and did certain things and had certain influence, they very well could say that we are inciting a riot. I think that they're going to try to use that. Now, you're right with the First Amendment, with as slick as Trump is.
First Amendment, but with interpretations too. I mean,
that's what I mean. With as slick as he is, I think what they're doing, though, how they're building a case against him, is they're going to his staff. They're trying to get direct communique to people who have direct ties with white supremacist groups, white organizations, and they're trying to make that connection. You know what I'm saying? That, certain things were like, some of what I call coming out in the trial was like when they show the timeline. When Trump makes this statement, everything goes into operation. You see these they show this timeline, you see all of these things.
But who's to
Oh
say
man, I can't even.
you didn't have like, because I remember when this one show, um, they talk about CIA operatives, how they kind of will take advantage of a situation and they will mobilize quick.
Man, and that's what these people did. All of these groups mobilized, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and they did their thing, and they're pointing out how peace,
Trevor.
brother. What's going on,
Peace,
brother?
peace. Can you guys
Peace,
hear me?
man.
Yeah, man.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
Hey, listen. First, I'm finally on here, but listen, you guys are way smarter than me. So I'm just gonna sit back and just enjoy the conversation because I enjoyed y'all. I know y'all from the debate league. I know y'all don't know me, but I follow you guys on the debate league. Yanga, I had you winning the whole thing, but you know how that turned out.
Hey, man, I appreciate the support, man. That's what's up. Hell yeah.
And Black,
Stick around,
hey,
man.
Black.
Season 5, I plan on coming back doing my thing.
Hey, Blackson, man, I hate what happened while you weren't in there. But you used to always come with those fire ass debates, man. So yeah, I'm fans of y'all, and I love the whole Black Power shit like that and everything. So I'm gonna just sit back because I do got a question for y'all at the end, but I kind of want to hear what y'all saying first.
Okay,
okay.
that's what's up, man. Appreciate the
Shit.
love, man.
Yeah, appreciate you
Yeah.
coming on, man. Yeah, shit, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I was saying, man, back to truth. So what they're doing is just trying to tie everything into them and show, if nothing, they're trying to show complicity. They're trying to show where all of this worked together, where he knew about it, and he was a key figure in it. So we got to see what plays out. See what plays out with that. It's interesting though.
But see, that sounds like some Gulag Stalin trials, them great purge shit. Like, I would
I don't
say
know.
it's a stretch,
I don't.
Yanga. It's a stretch,
I
man.
don't know how much of a stretch. I don't know how much of a stretch, bro. I don't know how much of a stretch. I mean, if you're tying in, it's like they've hit brothers with Rico for less. Shit, they've hit black people for knowing a nigga. You know what I'm saying? If you know a brother. So
Right.
we have to see how deep these ties run, how much he did know about some of these organizations, about exactly what they plan to do. I know he's smart, so he's going to have a lot of plausible deniability. He's going to be a lot that he's ignorant to. It's going to be that Ronald Reagan. See, let me tell you something. What Trump did is not new. We're children from the 80s. We see what the stimulus was Reaganomics.
Right.
He gave the stimulant package to stimulate the economy. Reagan gave us crack cocaine. You know what I'm saying? To stimulate the economy.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
It wasn't. And when the crimes of these people come out, when Reagan's crimes came out, when we found out that the CIA was pushing crack in there, we were funding an actual coup d'etat of a people's movement. You know what I'm saying? The Contra. When we found out we were, and all of this came to trial, Oliver North took the rap. Reagan got conveniently got Alzheimer's. I don't recall. I don't recall. Same thing with Trump. Plausible deniability. He don't know shit. He's actually, and he's having his Ollie Norths and all the people that took the fall in Reagan's administration. And Reagan got a library and a holiday and all that shit. Trump is doing the same thing, and people are taking the fall.
But Yang, I'm gonna tell you, just like the Ollie North thing, this shit can backfire and make Trump more popular. You know that.
That's what
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Because what do you think? Okay, what do you think would actually happen to him? Nothing.
Right.
He's a rich, powerful white man. First of all, if it was one of us, they'll hang us by the stake. But rich, powerful white man, former president of the United States. I mean, nothing seems to break this man.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point, Trevor.
He's right. The very system that is trying him, and he knows this to a degree, is the system that will exonerate him because he is one of capitalist's sons. He is a son of capitalism. He's he's an investment capitalist. He brings big money to this system. He's a big proponent and an advocate of the capitalist system. In fact, he could be the poster child for capitalism. So the very system that is trying to condemn him, you're right, is the system that will exonerate him. I think, however, what it should do for us and for what it's doing for liberal people is it is lifting the rock and bringing to light some of the players. A lot of times we get caught up into the big guy, the Trump, and we forget these little guys are what, we would say the little guys, but really the key components to keeping that shit going. And it's more than just them being in the system. What makes Trump dangerous is Trump is just not fucking with the system. He is recruiting the vagabonds. He's recruiting white trash.
Good old boy.
He's recruiting people that are just excluded out of the system as niggas, felons, people with hope. This is why they were scared of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. He was giving Negroes hope. That nigga supposed to be hopeless, supposed to be dead, and he was reinstilling, black power, black pride in people. This is why Trump is dangerous, because the element that he is inspiring and motivating. So we have to be vigilant. We have to be mindful of that. Not just politics, the politically, the state has always been against us, but there has very rarely, Reagan didn't even do that, been a figure to not only manipulate state policy and procedures and politics, but that could galvanize the more violent, hostile white forces to actual fucking movement. We got motherfuckers walking around like video games, shooting us and shit and getting to the white people. Oh, excuse me, my bad. And go, you know what I'm saying? And all of their manifestos will go back to Trump, even if he ain't directly talking to the motherfucker, his persona, what he stands for.
Hold up, Yanga, hold up. I can't let you get away with that. They've been doing that long before Trump, though. So we can't just pinpoint that on Trump.
I don't know. I don't know.
But it's never been as blatant as it is with Trump. Like, I mean,
Trump
come on, man. Like,
come on, man. Trump is a blatant white supremacist. They'd have never, if they went back shit, they tried to impeach Obama for him and his wife doing a fist bump. Oh, look at that black radical Muslim shit. They got up there and did a fist bump. They was everything. If President Obama had the ties that clearly as Trump had and has to white supremacy, President Obama had that to the Panthers, any black militia, black man, he'd have been out of there. Trump is undoubtedly, if not an outright member of any white supremacist movement, is undoubtedly a supporter of white supremacist organizations and damn sure an advocate of white supremacy as a philosophy, ideology, and way of life, cultural expression for white people.
Really, but okay, so when Obama first got in office, he said, well, I don't do this for black people. Now, Trump kind of did a similar, he had a rally and then they had a Klan person dressed up and he kind of denounced it. So I hear what you're saying, Yanga. It's to me, it's still a stretch. I think Trump is smart enough, even if, let's just say, all that is true. You still have to connect the dots to where you still got the mainstream saying, "Oh, listen to those black people; they're always complaining." So, and then so you got the black people, and then you got the liberal whites. These are the usual suspects that make the same complaints that cry wolf all the time. You gotta convince a demographic who don't fit in that. So, liberal whites and blacks, we've been screaming wolf forever. So when we scream it just goes right over their head. You know what I'm saying? Oh, racism. Oh, yeah, okay. Racism.
What ends up happening, and this is out there, and this is the message, especially to those radical reformers, those brothers and sisters who participate in the political system. When they have trials like this, you have to demand, and when they're found guilty of discrimination, racism, or anything, you have to demand the highest form of justice. You have to, if you're going to go through this system, you have to demand that their penalty, their punishment be a deterrent, not just an appeasement.
But Yanga, they can't even do it.
Don't just convict them to appease me. I need that punishment to be so harsh. It's a deterrent.
See, you're
So
talking
this is
about
what
you're talking about like these Mike Brown cases with the police officers and all that. So you got to go back to that because every time, I mean, I know they locked up the one police officer on the guy's neck, but you got so many other cases that we have to go revisit.
so many. Exactly, because we fumble the ball. I don't believe we take control of our political destiny enough. I think that we've allowed that to be something else that divides us: the revolutionary against the reformist or the political participant. And instead of us working together, them walking us through what it is actually politically that would be beneficial, and us making sure that the task remains tried and true, that they stay focused and the end game be self-determination, and that they don't come in there and be homogenized Negroes and assimilants.
Let me ask you a quick question, Brother Yanga. Because this leading on kind of what I wanted to ask you guys. Do you think Black people should participate in politics? Because it's not enough of us, I think, and I'm a 42-year-old man, to exact any real change in this government.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think that, like, I personally don't. I'm more of a revolutionary. However, I believe that, yeah, if that's the only form of participation you're going to have in the advancement of Black people, yes, and more so local. Run for your neighborhood block captain. Run for motherfucking neighborhood watch cat. Run for the dog catcher. Run for the sheriff. Run for especially local. If that's going to be your only form of participating in the advancement of Black people, I'd rather see you do that than be one of those people that, talk shit about the people that participate in politics but haven't presented an alternative for those that would participate. So what I advise people, participate in politics, but like what I do is, for those people that participate in politics, I still try to push revolutionary agenda, and I believe in a protracted struggle, which just simply means long term. You know what I'm saying? So while they're getting some form of participation, education, activity, I'm there to remind them that isn't the goal. We will never find satisfaction, liberation, relief, equality, or justice within their system. That isn't the goal. But we hope that two things will happen, and I'll end it with this. One, that while they're participating in that and we're teaching them, they see the complete contradiction and hypocrisy in the fucking state. They see it right there in their face. They didn't put all this effort into it, and they see it in their face. And secondly, we begin to hope that they will come from that and be a people that will help us to formulate our end game. Too many times we're caught up in breeding the warrior, breeding the fighter, but we don't think about the end game of rebuilding. Where's the statesman? Where's the doctor? Where's the lawyer? So that's what that, it will give those people an opportunity. My participating in politics, and people who deal with politics, when faced with the oppressor and their politics, it has given me insight. So yeah, because they screw our communities, bruh. They screw our communities with the politics. The aldermen, councilmen, looking just like us, coming in and rape us.
Yeah.
So
hey, one other question, because I know one of you guys are believe in separation, right? I think it's Yanga.
Yeah.
Where and I believe that to an extent, but now I'm starting to realize that it won't work, because we're not, as Black people, we can't ever get on the same page for anything. So my question to you is, like, what does that look like in this land, or would we actually have to go somewhere else? And then where does our next leader come from? Because Black people don't have no real leadership.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have anybody leading us.
Mm-hmm. I think I like what Dr. John Henry Clark said one time. He said, after Malcolm X, we don't need another charismatic, dynamic leader like that. I think the collective, the people, must be the leader. That waiting on the Messiah and a lot of times thinking that the Messiah has appeared has only shown in this day and time that it has been more detrimental than advantageous. I think that the separation, there's a writer, what's this writer? He used to work for CNN, and he talks about that, and he talks about the mass migration. I'm gonna have that writer next time I'm on there. And he talks about us migrating to the South, where we're already in the majority. You know what I'm saying? And we begin, and that speaks to that political question. We begin to migrate to the South and we take over the local politics. There are so many towns just riding through Georgia. You know, when I'm in Georgia, towns seem like they damn near for sale. You know what I'm saying? There are no people there. And of course there's no industry. So you would have to have industry, but just moving to the South. I like what you said when you said it would be hard because Black people are a diverse people. I think, to me, accepting that fact would be one of the biggest factors in going to unify. Understanding that Black people are not monolithic, celebrating and embracing our diversity, learning and pulling from that, would only make us grow. Our only unity needs to be we're sick of people discriminating, intentionally targeting us, creating obstacles and hindrances from our natural development based on our melanin, not based on what we call ourselves, not based on our religion, but based on a phenotype. I'm sorry, you got so based on a phenotype. So that alone, self-preservation, could be the unifying factor. I don't have to worship like you worship, bro. I don't have to any of that. I don't even have to like the same type of female, same type of food. But one thing you and I have in common, we run the risk of being pulled over by a police officer and murdered for no other reason than we're melanated. If that ain't enough, self-preservation ain't enough to unify on, then nothing will be. So I think once we get out of the Masonic complex, waiting on one charismatic, dynamic Black person to come lead us, will never happen because like you so adequately put, we are so diverse. And secondly, all of us thinking that we're going to be monolithic and fighting so vehemently and being so hostile to one another, trying to force us to embrace one another's culture or understanding or way of life, and just saying, instead of saying, hey, look, we're diverse people, but one thing we have in common, or that should be in common, is self-preservation. And clearly we know who the enemy is. Yeah. Digging the reality is so right about that. We have to learn. Before we can try what Yang is talking about, we need to learn. We have to learn how to love ourselves properly again. Absolutely. The revolution is healing. This is all really about healing. That's what all of this is about healing.
So,
and
so
a lot of times we're coming from a place of hurt.
Are you one of those people that think that you believe that can happen here in America, or are you one of those that think we got to run to Africa or something?
No, I'm a staunch Black nationalist, man. It got to happen here for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm a staunch Black nationalist, man. I believe that the Black African American, the melanated man and woman here in America, are their own type, like the Jamaican, like the West Indian, like the Puerto Rican. I believe we are that. Some of us want to be Aboriginal, so I call my history. I do have Native American, but me as a person, my alpha is tied into the development of who I am. I am a Black nationalist. You know what I'm saying? The goods and bads of this motherfucking country went into the development makeup of my being. And I believe that, and a lot of people, y'all about to get mad at Yang out there, I believe a lot of that shit is escapism. It's a fear to face the reality of what is, and a fear to man or woman up and to begin to change it and fight to change it. You know what I'm saying? So we'll go to Africa, we'll be comedic, we'll be this, we'll be that, we'll be everything but what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to argue on that point. If that's what float your boat, find your lost remote, cool. But I don't care if you got a fez on, a kufiya, a crown, or whatever. That pig will come and knock that shit off your head. The state will still discriminate against you. You know.
Hey, and as you say that, and Black Son, I'm sorry, man. I don't want to take your show over, man, but
Man, come
I've
on,
been
man.
waiting for a long time to talk to you guys.
This is what we do.
Hey, so you say that, you just said it, that the pig will come in and knock your crown off. Do you think because here's my thing, because I got a show that I do, and I always talk about this particular thing. I always hold a Black community accountable and think that we should do better. But I always say that our dependency on the white man is sickening. And I think that if we ever got together and decided, like, hey, let's move, let's do our own shit, give us what you owe us, give us what our ancestors worked for, and leave us alone, let us govern ourselves. I don't think it would last more than 5 years before some crab ass nigga will come in and be like, man, I miss daddy. And I think that's the mentality, that's the problem.
You know, Trevor, that's a good point, because with this new place, and I've always asked this question too, I mean, do we bring capitalism? Because a lot of us are born and raised on capitalism. So do we take that with us? You know what I'm saying? Like you said, because once you start missing the things, the luxuries that capitalism bring, you know, that shit is bound to unravel.
Man, it would be like if
we live in luxury.
Yeah,
Let's be real.
well, I mean, I don't know if you think we would be on the moon. It's always fascinating to hear people's understanding of separation and revolution. The biggest thing to me, I think, would be our problem would be neocolonialism. I think that we would out white man the white man. I don't think we would miss him. I live in Atlanta. I see neocolonialism at its height. I didn't see where the white officer pull a nigga off a black man. Hey, damn, Bob. You know, so I don't think black people would run back to the white man missing the white man. I think that our homogenized ass and assimilationist asses would practice neocolonialism in such perfection that we would destroy ourselves by being worse than the damn police, worse than the oppressor. Where the white man would give you 20 years, we'd give you 50 years to show you we ain't playing. I think that would be the damn problem. You know, so what we would hope to address that issue before we even got to that point, we would hope that we would be beginning, because separation, and like Deacons of Reality said, it said first it starts within self and the healing. So your separation is going to start within you, and then it's going to expand and spread to your neighborhood and to your locale. And you will begin to start to see the institutions that reflect the mindset. So you will have institutions that have STEM, you know what I'm saying? Science and technology and everything, mathematics and all of that stuff. You will begin to produce the citizen of your nation. That's what a protracted struggle is. It wouldn't be overnight. You have to actually produce the citizenry of this locale. It's like what you said, and we see it done on a microcosm, like what Son said when you come in my neighborhood, center of Atlanta. You can hear squirrels eating, you can hear birds tweet, center up between Simpson and Bankhead. Anybody know the hood, know that's the hood. Simpson Road shouting and Bankhead shouting. That right there. And what that is, though, is the people who comprise that neighborhood are of a certain type. They are of a certain type. And so that's what has to be created. A certain type would be created to go into the making up of whatever land we begin to occupy. You know what I'm saying? So the biggest threat that I think we would have, probably to me, would be neocolonialism. I don't think we know how to think independently or ingenuitively, inventively. I think we've lost the George Washington Carvers and the Benjamin Bannekers that resided in us that our race pushed. And that would be my biggest concern, neocolonialism.
Well, that's why I brought up the whole Trevor. I don't know if you remember my debate with Madon Kemet about Tupac and Fela.
I remember all of them, man. All of them.
Okay, so I was saying that Fela's more revolutionary because Tupac, just like how Yanga's talking about, was trying to get to where Fela's at. And like Yanga said, when they got to where they at, it became neo-colonialists, and they became, I mean, they were off the chain. They were having like executions every Sunday as entertainment on the beaches. And it's like, dang, we went from the white man to this. And even Fela said himself, he's seen the transition of where they wanted their own black this and that. We want the British out. Once the British left, it got off the chain. But it's not only.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir.
Well, go ahead. Well, what I was just saying is that, you know, Yanga understands this, but a lot of people, when they scream revolution, they don't understand. I always tell them to study the French Revolution, study the Russian Revolution, especially the Russian Revolution, where they were all communists, but you were a different type of communists. You had.
Are you a big Stalin fan? You always mention Stalin all the time.
The reason I mention Stalin is because our prison system has modeled after the gulags. Our police force has modeled after the NKVD. So I always mention Stalin so people, especially black people, can go study Stalin. I say study Stalin because they went through a revolution. They had the most secretive, brutal police ever. They had the largest incarceration. They went through starvation. They went through it. Now the French, they went through it, but no, Russia went through it to where they had people that were prison wards up in Siberia, and they were waiting for you to escape because a lot of they call them the cannibal bounty hunters, meaning go ahead and run, go ahead and run. They come back with a body part and say, we got them. You know what I'm saying? These cannibal bounty hunters. You know about them, Yanga? Do you not? Siberia? I guess
I don't. You tell me. I'm like, damn. You got to come back with a body part, verify the kill, huh?
Right. And again, cannibal bounty hunters. This is how they were, like you said, you dealing with food, economics, that's why I always mention Stalin. I always mention Russia. I always mention these people went through fucking hell and back. Like literally, they went through a purge that was off the chain, and these people were all communists. They were all pro. Not the guy from before Stalin, Lenin, I'm sorry, they were all pro.
Lenin.
Yeah, Lenin. They were all pro Lenin. They were all anti-czarist, so they were against the monarchy. So the Bolsheviks came in and they did that. It was like the revolution. It was in stages, and when Stalin came, it was a terror. And so I want black people to realize, when you look at Idi Amin. I mean, that's a good example. Or if you look at, I showed it on my slides against, who did I debate? Yeah, against Madon Kemet. I showed all them damn dictator generals that they went through. Yeah. And people want to argue that Tupac was more revolutionary? Boy, y'all better study. Boy, no disrespect to Tupac, but he was not in the condition that Fela was in. Fela seen that shit. Fela had to goddamn rush the goddamn, and so that's why I use Russia, because the world models after Russia. They had the top secret police, which was the NKVD. That's them right there. Those are not Nazis. Those are the NKVD, secret police. Our system models after that. And people don't understand is that when FDR was I don't want to say serenading because it makes it sound like a bitch, but yeah, he's serenading. When he was serenading goddamn Stalin, they looked the other way. They looked the other way of the atrocities that he did. Y'all want to talk about concentration camps? Stalin had concentration camps. Y'all want to talk about just murking people like your opponents, like you're running. If you lose, that's it for you. You know what I'm saying? It's just, y'all got to study that shit. And that's just like, that's why I always say, Trevor, when I talk to the Akmalaks, the battle axes and the fanatical Hebrews, I always ask, well, what does your post-revolutionary world look like? Because people think, oh, overthrow the white man, kumbaya, now we live in a utopia. No, it's not going down like that. The mental state of these brothers here, man, is going to get crazy. It's going to be a terror, and it might be even more intense than the terror that Stalin went through. So that's why I always bring that up, Trevor. I always bring that up because this is real. This has really happened. You know what I'm saying?
The one thing, the one thing I wish would have happened is my first introduction to you is that you would have been able to debate that coward champion that wears a mask, because I know you would have murdered him, man. Like the way you came into the league, just thrashing him. I was like, God, I can't wait to see this, man.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest, Trevor, man. There were a couple people I was looking forward to debate. And I'm hoping that there's some of us still in season 5 that I'm gonna get the opportunity to debate. Anonymous definitely was one of them. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to debate my man and going at it. So yeah, it came down to it. I had a great run. Like I said, though, I learned a valuable lesson, man. I came in, I underestimated my man. Shouts out to KOT. I hate, that he didn't get a chance to get his little run like he did, but underestimated my man. He did his little thizzle. That won't happen again. I hate to be arrogant about, but at least, man, I'm banking on myself season 5. I'm coming out.
When I saw the brackets and saw that you were coming back, man, I said, oh shit, Yanga gonna kick. I said, Yanga gonna run through this side. I said, I know that it's gonna be Yanga versus Domo. That's what it's gonna be. And then when everything started happening, I'm like, what the fuck, man? I'm like, what? Like, what's going on? Yeah, man, that shit was crazy, man. Hey, I did want to ask y'all though, in this, do y'all think, like I say, I'm 42. Do y'all think we'll ever see it in our lifetime? A black-led society where it's just melanated people on this land, completely cut off from white people.
No, I don't. You know what? I don't think that will ever happen in a landmass. That's not, to me, that's not what the separation looks like to me. I know that quite possibly you're going to have white people living in that land. Ideally, yeah, if it was just all black people, but hell, you got white people in the land. Ideally, yeah. What separation looks like to me is control.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Control. We control the economics. We control the politics. We control the institutions. We control the industry. Control. And we have a system. If a proper revolution has taken place, we have a system that ensures humane living conditions for all human beings, but especially us melanated people. That was the reason for our separation. Had we gotten equity, had we gotten the opportunity to evolve naturally alongside other people, we wouldn't be saying, hey, we need to fucking separate. What we're saying is that your system was designed to have a certain class of people work your system. And unfortunately for us, you have targeted melanated people to be that class of people through your criminalization. When these brothers and sisters get felonies, they're regulated to certain jobs because they can't get other jobs. In Georgia, in Atlanta now, in many instances, you can't even live in certain neighborhoods if you have a felony. So all of this is designed to keep you regulated to a class. Here you are, a grown man trying to work a job, a fast food job that teenagers have on summer break. So you're forced to work 2 or 3 jobs to make ends meet or to get back into the criminal life, you know. So you're working these jobs, and what you are a cog in a machine. They ensure a proletariat class. They ensure a working class. You will never be able to have the opportunities that are afforded other people. And so how they masquerade it is they create a black bourgeois class, and they allow the black bourgeois class to be the spokespeople and the leaders, the Al Sharptons, the Jesse Jacksons and shit, you know. And these people fight for the W.E. Du Bois said the talented 10th. They fight for that percentage to be allowed through so they can put a Band-Aid on the masses who are suffering. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we want separation. We want a system that ensures everyone a certain standard and quality of life. Hell, even their Bill of Rights said that everyone is entitled to what? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These are inalienable rights. Shit, if the devil can quote that, hell.
But Yanga, I've always said this black, you know, and I always tell this to the Hebrew Israelites, your system has to look better than their system. It has to be better than their system. I don't care how much the white man lie and say freedom of speech and this and that. It looks good on paper. And so you got these Hebrews talking about, well, yeah, you know, if we're in power, yeah, we'll go back to, you know, we'll have to enslave this and that. And I've heard, you know, I love listening to Cesario.
Cesariak says that all the time.
But yo, he be saying some nutty ass shit. Shout out to Cesario. But Cesario,
you better know black people are gonna fight against that. You better know that's coming.
Yeah. Because
you know,
black people love their oppressors.
Right, exactly. You know, but we sure do. That's that's a horrible truth. But one of the things that, you know, like I was saying, we would have these institutions that would create the citizenry. And you're not going to create a system that looks better than the American system. It's impossible. The American system is a materialist system. It puts all its emphasis on material possessions, even to the suppression and oppression of human beings. So you ain't gonna have nothing that look better than this shit. You can do what you want to do, get what you want to get. You can have it your way. Fuck your neighbor. You can. You deserve a break today. While Nike tells you just do it. Right. You see what I'm saying? So it's going to be hard to create anything that looks better. You create the citizenry, and in creating that citizenry, you begin to reinstill in them what they had. Like I'm 50. What was instilled in me when I was coming up was, remember that you're a black male. Ain't nobody gonna give you nothing. You're gonna have to earn to get it. Remember, white folk looking at you. Right. White folk watching you. You're gonna have to be twice as better that you are your brother. We were so cold that we would pull our brother's coat. If a nigga was out there acting like a nigga, we'd pull it and say, nigga, stop acting like a nigga.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how we was raised. We was raised to, nigga, you clowning, jumping, and buffooning and clowning, monkey ass nigga. So you couldn't be out there doing that. So we understood there were two Americas, white America, black America. What they've done now is they've rewarded nigga behavior. See, back then you was penalized for nigga behavior. You wasn't given promotions. You couldn't get the job. Now they got love and hip hop. They got reality TV. They reward you for nigga behavior. You know what I'm saying? So we have to create the citizens that says, hey, no more buffoon. That's nigga shit. We don't do nigga shit. And call a nigga. You know how Taz lost his breath when I called him a nigga. So I said, oh, you're a nigger. You're a nigger. You're a nigger. And all that endorses that type of behavior, all that scratching it, are nigger lovers. And black men don't like niggers. You know why? Because, and I ain't gonna keep using the word, messing up our what sensitive, but we get mistaken. Black men get mistaken for niggas, and we end up paying the cost with our life, with whatever. So we have to go on an anti-nigger campaign. No more nigger shit.
But Yanga,
yeah.
But Yanga, that's what's again. You just talk about just capitalism by itself.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Trevor had
It's
mentioned, like Trevor mentioned, I agree with Trevor. Once a person say, "Damn, I missed this," it's gonna unravel. It's gonna be like
that's what I said.
like a COVID virus. It's gonna be like a virus. A
That,
person goes, "Man, I missed this."
absolutely.
This person say,
That's
"Damn, I
why
missed."
you have to create the citizenry. You have to create the citizenry. And when we
Okay,
outnumber,
but you're talking about citizenry. I'm talking about just simple luxuries. I'm talking about simple luxuries because we are the largest consumers. Yanga, read the
you
comment.
have to create you have to create the citizenry. What I mean by that is we have to begin to the 80s, and you and I, son, are products of this. See, this is why I work so hard. We're products of the materialism era. We 80 babies. We destroyed that family collectiveness when you was out playing and you go over your boy's house and then mama say, come here for dinner, and then tell you, you didn't sit down, eat. You better not even say no ma'am, no ma'am. Oh, you can't eat my food? You know, it was an insult to turn down dinner at your boy's house. We killed that with crack cocaine. When they gave us crack cocaine, here I am, 85, 86, I'm 13, 14. I'm touching money like you wouldn't believe.
Right.
I'm seeing adults do things that Dante didn't describe in Dante's Inferno in the levels of hell. I'm watching black men and women, adult men and women, debase themselves to such a degree that I don't even want to mention some of the shit I seen our people do for crack cocaine. All the while we're getting rich. And materialism came in. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't become about, there was a time when I was coming up, when you was dating a young lady, I wanted to go with a girl, you had to talk on the phone 20 hours. Hell, you fall asleep talking on the phone. You had to go sit on the porch and talk all day to her, walk home from school, meet her parents. When that crack came in, all we had to ride up with the knock, doom, 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 open the car door, and she jumped in. So we lost the morals and the ethics. Materialism became everything. You didn't have to have no more game. You just have to have a rap game to get a little honey. When materialism came in, it became about what you wore. We fought, our ancestors cried when they was branded with someone's name. Now we dying for name brand. We don't have an identity if we ain't brand with that cracker's name. Because we was trying to run from being branded. Now we ain't shit if we ain't branded. So we have to create the citizenry that goes back to understanding. I call it the primitive capital men. When those of us that have studied a little bit of socialism, there's a concept called primitive capitalist man. Before material was the be all, was the sum goal, the primitive capitalist man's sum all and goal core of existence was family. It all revolved around the family. Capitalism on steroids made it materialism, and now it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do as long as you have the material possession, and that's what defies manhood. So our whole training has to go back, and once we outnumber, that's where the real work comes in: institution building, morals and ethics, cultural redefining cultural understanding and phenomena. And once we outnumber the niggas, which is a task, but once we outnumber them, then you will begin to see the shift. But the first fight is an internal fight. Let me end it with this in conclusion. We see where anywhere that this devil has visited and instituted its form of government, when it is pulled out or ran out, there's been chaos. Look at Rwanda. We look at Algiers. We look at the Sudan.
Yeah, those are cultural wars, though. You talk about black on black.
But why? How did they become cultural wars? Was when the French went into Rwanda,
right.
They took the Tutus over the Hutsi because the Tutus, they felt like, were closer to European looking. Mm-hmm. So they gave them all the jobs like lawyer, doctor, teacher, and regulated the Hutsis to, I believe, I'm getting the clans right, to menial labor. Garbage, warehouse, You know what I'm saying? And so this is how they set the structure. They showed their favoritism. They showed that by they created a bourgeois class.
But are you
You know,
saying?
and then they pulled out.
Yeah, but are you saying that?
What do you think happened to them tutus?
Yeah, but what, are you saying that there would be no elite classism amongst black people?
I'm saying that before the French had went into Rwanda, they had an ecosystem of harmony and balance amongst the various tribes. It was when they came in and developed a class system.
Yeah, that's too much. That sounds too much like a utopia.
You didn't have that, Matt. You didn't
Yeah,
hear about,
I don't know about that. I don't know about that one.
You didn't hear about Rwanda. Go look up Rwanda. You didn't hear about Rwanda until the French pulled out. Why didn't you hear about Rwanda before the French went in? Go look up Rwanda. What were the Rwandans doing before the French colonized? Yeah, they had some little conflicts. There was no wholesale massacre until the French pulled out. And when the French pulled out, they would tell you why. Because they had created a classes. They had created a class society. They had a tribal communal society. The French created a class society.
But all human beings have a caste system, Yanga. Blacks.
No.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
You don't
mean?
believe?
Wait a minute, I may be misunderstanding it. What do you mean? I may be misunderstanding.
What I'm saying is that every class, every society, especially African society, has a caste system, meaning you got kings, you got servants. That existed way before the white man and the French is what I'm trying to tell you, Yanga. So
okay,
you're talking about, okay, the French came, okay, we gave these people these positions, these people, they had a more capitalist caste system, but we had a monarchical caste system that I really don't, I mean,
not based on, but there was anytime you factor in subjugation and oppression based on ethnicity or race, that's a whole different system. That's our problem with that's our biggest problem with America. It's not just a class system, which I don't believe in the class system, but it's the fact that black people in America are regulated to the class system based on their race. This is what happened in Rwanda.
But yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's setting people up.
No, when you go study it, we're going to come back and do a show on it. What happened is they, instead of it being a caste system based on merit or whatever, the French exploited one and elevated another, creating a hostility between the two tribes. It's documented. They will tell you that's what started a civil war.
Let me ask you this:
when the devils came in there and changed the ecosystem.
Okay, let me ask you this question.
They always do. Yeah.
Let me ask you this question, because black people have a misconception when you talk about separation and revolution and independence and the web level site. People, they tend to forget a simple basic rule: if you don't work, you don't eat. Guess how many black people think we're going to go to this utopia society and we don't work and everything's all good? How many people going to carry that mentality with us? We still got to work in order to eat. That's every society.
No, let me tell you something. I see, this is where I have a disconnect. Like you saying, they're going to bring that mentality with them. Those people want the work that it takes to achieve a smidgen of what you're talking about. Those people, those people will not exist. If we are still in the majority of niggerism, then what we're talking about is just fantastic. We're talking about a whole evolutionary process. We're not talking about, and like Deacons of Reality said, never once are we talking about a utopic state. We're not romanticizing. We understand the real work. What we're saying, like in the Black Panther Party, point number one, we want freedom. What is freedom? We're saying we want the right to evolve naturally without outside and intentional hindrances and influences. Don't mean we're going to get it perfect. What we're saying is, while we're doing natural evolution, we have some unnatural shit going on, which is preventing natural evolution. We want to enter that and let us fuck up. We blow ourselves up. We reserve the fucking right. One of the biggest crimes that could have happened was what they did to Africa. They retarded the development of Africa. They colonized Africa and took billions of precious resources, which were our people, which hindered the natural evolution. So we're saying this: we don't want, what we must fight against is unnatural influences and hindrances in natural evolution. And the only way to do that, to counter that, is to create counter institutions. We are a certain type of black people. So we have to create institutions and shit that address us specifically. It's good to study world revolutions, but we are a specific, unique people, and world revolution, and many revolutionaries will say this, won't start until we kick it off, man. The black man and woman in America is the catalyst to everything.
Yanga, hold on. And I'm gonna bring this up because there's some other shit about to go down, and I'm gonna bring that up in a minute. But the Nigerians, when they came in, like you said, in resources, the Nigerians will tell you that they got some of the richest people, and that it's the richest nation, and they living good. The Nigerians are living good. They will tell you that, and they will fight you. Now, I say that to say this: Europe and America is trying to get Africans into the whole Ukraine-Russia situation. They trying to get, and Africa's like, yo, we ain't got nothing to do with that. Like Ethiopia, Somalia, they're like, no, we know it's going to be some fuckery, so we started growing our own grain. But if you listen to the news, you'll think that they starving. They not starving. They went independent. They're growing their own grain. But
good for them.
America is like, okay, African people, y'all need to choose. Y'all need to choose between Zelensky or Putin. They're like, yo, that's not our fight. You know how black people do? That ain't got nothing to do with us.
That ain't got
nothing to do with us. But America is America and the EU is twisting the arm of Africa because they won't jump in the shit. Like, dude, they're getting desperate. Like, that's not our fight. That's not our fight. Right. Ethiopia, Somalia said, no, that ain't got nothing to do with us. We know it's going to see some fuckery. They actually got more grain now. They got more grain than they was getting from Talk about
They're smart. And this is how we have to get smart, though. This is what I mean by us moving as a people. You know, we have to get smart like that. Like we talked about politics earlier. So say we got in politics. As black people spend $1 trillion a year. Remember, I did that in my debate. We spend $1 trillion a year. And they said that is more than Canada's gross national product. You know what I'm saying? So, but however, it is unaccountable spending. When we spend with these people, and y'all heard me say this before, do these people sponsor certain bullshit in Africa? We can actually have a motherfucking say in foreign policy. It's like you said, black people are consumer capitalists. We don't take the limited power we have. No, we don't have to spend a motherfucking dollar with anybody. Can't nobody make you spend. The Jews, when you spend a dollar with anybody that's sponsored or supported Nazi Germany. Once we just start being accountable and responsible for ourselves, then we will begin to see a shift change. Let's just be accountable for the trillions of dollars we spend. Let's tell fucking
what does that shift change? Okay, but is that shift change? Is it economical? Because you already got black people in economical positions. You already have the bourgeoisie. You have that.
Fred Ham said everything is politics, politics, everything. Economics is politics, politics is economics. Yes, it's economic empowerment, which leads to political empowerment. Everybody be crying about Trump. Why? Yet they go buy products from the very companies that give him billions of fucking dollars for his campaign. It's that simple. We have to be accountable. Come on, man. We have to be accountable for what we do. We're not accountable. We don't understand it.
They're going to gavel.
I'm all for Trump gas prices. How about them apples, Yanga? Fuck Biden and his gas prices. I'm all for Trump gas prices. I ain't complaining about Trump.
I don't know Trump. I don't know Trump gas prices because Trump didn't have this crisis. I don't know. I don't know. See, I don't get caught up in their politics. You know, past
Okay,
the man, they finna get you in 3-card Monty. They
right,
finna get you in 3-card Monty.
No, they're
Trump
not.
prices. What the fuck are Trump gas prices?
Listen, Yang. Yeah, this, Yang. When they talked about when Biden and Trump had the debate, when they talked about gas prices, I knew that was going to affect us. That's why when the fucking shit skyrocketed, everybody like, damn, you calm, Blackson. I'm like, yeah, because I listened to the debate. I listened to when Biden said he's going to take subsidies away from the oil industry. I heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that affects black people. That affects us at the gas pump. So yeah, I was paying attention. So yeah, I was like, yo, you talk about voting your interests. I voted for Trump because I didn't want no high gas prices.
And some people didn't want it. Some people didn't want to go to war, son. Trump was a warmonger. Some people Trump tried to start. Look, the reason with first of all, calm down. I'm about to tell you. I'm about to tell you. You still hollering who? He tried to start a war with Iran. Did he not? Did he not bomb their top general? Are you serious, bro? You didn't go back and watch it. Did he not bomb? He tried to start a war. Come on, we can go. We can talk about the warmongering, motherfucker. They're warmongers. I know your hero's a warmonger. I know it's Trump is a warmonger. All the devils are warmongers. All the devils are warmongers.
Did the war start?
China. So what they did was they got a weak devil in. Trump pushed them Trump took it to the extreme limits, and they do this game. What they do good devil, bad devil. He took them to the extreme limits of war. He's fucking with China. He bombed Iran and shit. He's telling motherfuckers, get it in blood. Fuck this. Trump is a fascist. It's all in his politics. Let's make America great again. Fuck everybody. Which some of that shit I don't. This is why I say black people should when in politics we should be very independent with what if you're dealing with politics. What party that blind allegiance to party shit has to end. Anyway. So what they did is they put Biden in to appease the situation. They knew they were on the brink of motherfucking civil war. They knew about. You think the FBI don't know about what these white supremacists was doing? International, that their international policies were fucked up. What China was about to do, what Iran was about to do. Hell, Biden's going over there meeting with Saudi Arabia, and he talked all that shit about Saudi and them killing the American journalists. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's all hypocritical, but they have to have a soft touch in this time. And Biden did all he could do, but he inherited him a war.
No, let me tell you what happened in Saudi Arabia when Biden came about, because Trump was making some deals with Saudi Arabia, North Korea, and all over. When Biden came in office, goddamn Solomon had beheaded like 800 people. Are you serious, Yanga? Are you serious, bro? Come on, bro. I know my shit about Saudi Arabia.
What you mean? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's amazing Biden meeting with him, but that's what I'm telling you. Politics. He's trying to soften up these fucking gas prices. Shit, he'll meet with
bullshit. Yanga, he fucking took the subsidies.
Why do you think that man's meeting with Saudi Arabia? Why do you think he's meeting with Saudi Arabia? Why do you think Biden met with Saudi Arabia?
Wait, I'm sorry.
I said, why do you think Biden
went over there and failed, just like he went to goddamn Honduras and failed?
Oh, he failed. Why did he go?
He failed.
Yeah,
He's trying to. First of all, let's keep it real. Biden is trying to fucking goddamn run Putin's resource, because Putin is the #1 contributor to goddamn the petroleum in Europe. Okay, let's just 100. So by having this war, instigating it with goddamn Ukraine, they thinking, oh, okay, we're gonna run his resources. No, they're not. They're not gonna run the resources. He's still gonna be in that pipeline all the way to goddamn Finland, goddamn Finland, Norway, the goddamn all up in there. He's gonna run that shit, and that's what it is. We mad. Yeah. America's goddamn trying to control the goddamn oil right now. That's all it's about. And they mad because China, goddamn Iran, and Russia are all goddamn together on the oil thing, man. Yeah. That's why.
Yeah.
Come on,
yeah.
And all that will
Go
Go ahead.
I don't think I'm not arguing that point. I will say that he did. Biden did go to Saudi Arabia. I will argue the point that Biden went to Saudi Arabia to try to lower the gas prices. The Saudis told him, like they said, they failed terribly because, like he said, they're at maximum output is what they told him anyway. That they're at maximum output. You know what I'm saying? It's a fucked
That's
up.
what they told him. No, first of all, he had to go in there because every time they called, they hang up the phone because China had a better deal. They're going to move the shit over to the yen. That's what damn Saudi Arabia's doing, and they're teaching their goddamn kids and the people to make Chinese a second language. Come on, Yanga, don't play now.
Man,
don't play.
Hey, wait, you gonna have to bring that. You're gonna have to bring that. That's a stretch. That's a stretch. That's a stretch. That's a stretch. Saudi is not going. Saudi has been in America's pocket. Saudi has been in America's pocket since the founding of Saudi.
Ben until goddamn
Saudi ain't going nowhere. Saudi will never fuck with Iran. Saudi will never fuck with Iran.
I said China. I didn't say
China
Iran.
fuck with Iran. China fuck with Iran. Saudi is America's baby in the Middle East. I'm telling you, bro. That's America, okay? I'm telling you.
That's why we're fighting. That's why my Americans fighting like hell to goddamn prevent Putin from building that goddamn pipeline. Because once Putin builds that pipeline, the gas prices shoot back down. They shoot back down.
But Saudi's not in bed with that. Saudi's not in bed with that.
Why is Saudi not in bed with that? Saudi's going to be in bed with whoever goddamn currency goddamn prevails. And that's what we're trying to prevent right now. So if the dollar tanks, guess who Saudi going to go to? Come on now. You're talking about
Saudi is getting robbed as it is. Saudi is getting robbed as it is.
Saudi's my woman. Saudi's my woman. That's what
Saudi getting robbed. Nah, you gotta listen. We're talking about this. You're gonna have to do more than just holler a fact. You gotta bring a fact. So you can't bring anything to substantiate what you say.
Let's debate.
I want to debate.
Let's
debate it.
I'll debate that. Saudi has been in bed, will be in bed. Saudi now is getting robbed.
Saudi is going to go to the highest. Yeah, they're in bed with us now, but let the goddamn dollar fall and see what they want.
Saudi is getting robbed. I think Saudi's getting what? $10 a barrel. So Saudi's getting robbed. Saudi is being robbed now.
They don't think
Saudi is in bed. Shit. Saudi's in bed with America and them Zionists, man.
Right, but what I'm saying, Yanga, if the dollar tanks,
the dollar is done.
And Saudi is they a little weary now. Now it looks all good. This relationship is all good and dandy. But let that damn dollar fall, and you're gonna see goddamn Saudi in the bed with goddamn China. Come on now.
The dollar is done.
I thought you loved me, baby. That's what
the dollar is done. The dollar's been. What do you mean dollar tanked? You believe in the hype? The dollar's done. The dollar's done. The dollar is tanked. Before you see that, I predict World War III. Before you see Saudi go to China, I predict World War III. Before you see Saudi go to China.
Don't make that bet, brother. Don't make that bet.
I will do it.
Because Biden made that bet. Biden made that bet when he went into goddamn Ukraine. And that's why goddamn, they're not telling it, but Ukraine done lost. Zelensky done lost. They gonna goddamn, they gonna, man, shit, okay? They done lost.
I would debate it, man. I would debate it. Too much American.
Did I just hear that
Saudi got wars with Yemen and shit. Saudi got a lot of shit going on in the Middle East. And Saudi's trying to regain and hold a power in the Middle East that America backs.
Yeah, ain't good. You watch too much of that fake news. Fake news.
I'm telling you.
See,
this is what biting into the hype. They got you biting into the hype, bro.
Oh, bro.
They got you biting into the hype.
You didn't know about Putin's pipeline, did you? You didn't know about Putin's pipeline, did you?
I didn't know exactly where it ran from. That's the whole thing. They got you biting the hype.
What do you mean biting the hype?
How this thing, You better understand how this thing works. There would be World War III. Before America, man, they will vote in another warmonger.
No,
And
no,
we'll go to war.
no. Listen.
These gas prices ain't going to stay too long.
No. I agree. America, that's why, but you contradicting yourself. You saying that the dollar tanked, but they will go to World War III. No, they will go to World War III before they let the dollar tank. It has not absolutely tanked. But if it absolutely tanked, yes, I agree with you. They will go to war. But Saudi is going to make some backdoor deals because they like, hey, well, we don't know. Well, America.
I can't speak to back channels, but what I'm telling you publicly, as far as a nation,
what do you mean that you can't call that? It's all about money, Yanga. Come on now, Saudi's on.
When you talk about backdoor deals, I don't know about backdoor deals. What I'm telling you is, Saudi, I honestly believe, will never make a public declaration of non-alliance and allegiance with America. Never. They will always be allies of America.
Yanga, it's not even about making the announcement. It's about taking the yen. So you're telling me right now, and we can debate this, that Saudi is not accepting the yen? Is that what you're telling me? Because
I'm not saying that they won't sell oil to China. What I'm saying is they will never do it exclusively. They will never do it to the exclusion of America. They will never turn their back on America.
Now you're thinking of like Biden, because America wants shit to be exclusive. China, Iran, and Russia, they're willing to work together. They're
working together.
Right, they want in, but America's like, no, that's our shit. No, we are the capitalists. No, we set the
They want in on what? They don't want in with America. That's their whole point of having an alliance. Russia, Iran, and China, that's their whole point of having. They don't like America like that.
No, it's not even about liking America. Iran, Russia, and China want in on the capitalist game. They want in on the oil cartel. And America's like, no, that's our shit. Like, no, we don't want to share shit with nobody. That's America's problem. America wants to rule the oil cartel. They want to control all that shit. And Iran, China, and Russia are like, no, we want in on this game too. Like Russia, Putin just wants to sell oil to Europe. That's it. He does not want to take over Ukraine. That's the big fucking lie. Because he would have took over Georgia back in 2014. He just said, don't join NATO, and bailed. He was doing the same thing with Zelensky, saying, don't fucking join NATO. Don't fucking goddamn do that bullshit on my borders. They don't give a fuck about Ukraine. They don't give a fuck about Ukraine. They don't want Ukraine. That's more people they got to feed, man. That's more people they got to feed. They don't want that shit. That's more people. That's more resources they got to drain. They don't want to fuck with Ukraine. They just saying, don't
want shit on their
borders. And we did the same thing with Fidel Castro back in the Bay of Pigs. We're saying, don't fuck with goddamn borders, man. Come on, come on now.
That's a no-brainer. That right there is a no. I mean, I share the same. I think what it is, your passion. You're so passionate that you make it seem like that I have an argument against some of that of what you're saying. I mean, I share the same sentiment. I think that it's clearly clearing people off your borders. Like you said, you used the point of the Bay of Pigs, Cuban Missile Crisis. However, of course, that's what it's always about.
Who has a right to about world domination? Don't play that. No, don't play. Let's not play these games. Get the fuck off my borders with goddamn missiles. Don't play that shit. And he went up in Russia.
He doesn't want the expansion of NATO on his borders. Nobody would want that. I wouldn't want. You don't want that on your borders. I think, but the game is.
But America's playing a 3-card Monty because it's not. They know. America knows. Let's not play games, gentlemen. Yanga, Trevor, let's not play games. We know Ukraine cannot beat Russia. Let's not play these games. America knows Ukraine can't beat Russia.
But it's like what you said in the early. It's not about beating Russia. It was about what they did to Russia. It's about what they did to Russia with the Afghan wars, man. It's about, Shit, get
Right.
them to spend the report. Yeah.
Resources, so you don't concentrate on the pipeline, and now you're putting all these resources into this. I don't even call it a war because goddamn Russia's spanking their asses. They're spanking them. And don't think, see, this is why I got to show this again. I know, Trevor, I keep saying, the NKvd. Putin has agents all up and down Zelensky's shit. That's why they don't fucking bomb Ukraine. The guys next to him are fucking Russian agents. Russia's been doing this shit forever. How do you think they took out Trotsky? You know how fucking what happened to Trotsky, Yanga? All the way in fucking Mexico. They fucking goddamn Stalin took his ass out. You think
so? Why you say they're bombing Ukraine though? According to the news, they're bombing the Ukraine.
Wait, say that again?
I said according to the news, they're bombing the Ukraine.
Yeah, according to the news. According to the news. I'm talking about nuke. I'm talking about nuking strategical positions where Putin has his agents. Remember, Putin.
Yeah, they ain't gonna drop no nukes. They ain't gonna use no nukes, man.
You're being fantastic. You're being fantastic.
Listen, Yanga. See, this is why this shit is so complex. People forget that Putin is former KGB, is he not?
Yeah, but what's that got to do with him using nukes?
I'm going somewhere with this. Trevor, is Putin not former KGB? Okay. Where I'm going with this, Yanga, is that people all up and down Zelensky's political realm, all up and down his army, all the way down to his chef are fucking NKvd agents. I say NKvd because KGB and NKvd are the same fucking thing. Trust me. They know every fucking move he's making. America knows.
You don't think that? It was a loss. To me, it was a loss. I never thought Ukraine stood a chance against Russia, against Russia's conventional arms.
It goes deeper than that,
Huh?
Yeah, and it goes deeper than that, Yanga. It goes deeper than that, man. You talking about?
They were. They didn't possess. People had to arm them from the outset. They didn't. I never thought they stood a chance. I never thought they stood a chance.
I'm glad you didn't fall for that banana in the tailpipe, gang. I'm glad you didn't fall for that. And like I said, it's getting so bad to where now they're asking Africans. They're making this a black issue now. Because once they ask the Somalians, they're going to ask the Nigerians, then they're going to ask black people, poor little Ukraine, people in Africa are starving. No, they're not. Don't believe that shit. That's the next news that's coming. They're going to say people in Africa are starving because of the Ukraine war. No, the fuck they not. And I got resources. I got resources, Yanga. I got a sister from goddamn Ethiopia saying, no, that's bullshit that they're saying. They just want to get us into that war. We're not having it. Because at the end of the day, just like fucking Hitler, Stalin in America, they want black troops on the ground.
Well,
see, this is what I want to land on.
We're expendable. We're going to do that. That's what I mean by regulating the class. If we go to war, I have a family member that's a major.
Hey, Blue, jump on, Blue. Blue, jump on, man. No, you're not going to leave a comment. Jump on, Blue. Jump on, Blue. No, we're not playing that, Blue. Jump on. We're not playing that, Blue. Jump on, man.
Like I have a sister in the military. And like she said, now the requirements to get in the military are a little tougher because we're not in wartime. We have enough to cover any defense or security we may need.
Right.
If we go to war, like I said, for a lot of black people, the military is an economic opportunity. It's employment opportunity. So of course, we're going to flood the ranks. I don't even know if I would really call that out of a sense of patriotism or anything, just more as an opportunity, So I don't know if it's about, like I said, of course we're going to fill the ranks. Of course they're going to go open it up and try to get as many people as they can to fight. And it will be, since the majority of impoverished people are black and brown, they're going to fill up the ranks. The ranks will be predominantly black and brown.
But it's not that simple, Yanga. You got to when it comes Because when it comes to military, and this goes worldwide, you got to feed people's morale. And the first thing black people going to be like, well, that's not my fight. It ain't got nothing to do with me. That's just, you know what I'm saying? And if it ain't got nothing to do with us, we not going to fight as hard. We determine the outcome. What?
I don't know.
What?
You know, but they'll just promise us something.
Exactly.
I mean, they'll just say,
my
we'll give you this.
Yeah, my sister went in, like, she's the major. She went in for the GI college fund. What they're going to do is they're going to give you an incentive because that's what I mean when I say regulate us to a class. Okay. You know what I'm saying? That when they regulate you to a class, you're going to take advantage of anything you perceive to be an opportunity. Oh, college fund. If I go give them 4 years, they're going to give me college. They're going to give me how, you know. So, yeah.
Trevor, Yanga, that's wonderful. But see, y'all missing one thing. Y'all missing one element. You know, Africa's divided on this shit because, you know, a lot of them are siding with Russia. Remember, they're practicing capitalism too. So they can that's why they got the fight for this whole morale thing because trust me, it's Africans that want to back Russia because Russia has fed Africa. China has done dealing with Africa. Let's not come on now.
And I'm gonna keep it real. And I hate to say this about us. I hate these horrible truths. When's the last time you've known us to really move outside of 9/11 to really move and do anything because we were inspired or angered by America's foreign policy? We could give a fuck less. We're not that patriotic.
So you stay
we're not that into international politics to that degree. I'm like, Trevor, if they offer us something and present that opportunity, we will fill the ranks and go over there and murder people.
And you don't think Russia's going to offer? You don't think Russia's going to offer some nations in China in Africa to do the same thing? Remember, China and Russia are building hospitals. They're building roads. They're building businesses. You don't think they won't fight this as hard? They'll make it a black issue now. They'll make it a black issue.
I mean, see, but you're like, I know that I have African heritage, but you're mistaking the fact that their politics affect me in some way, shape, or form or fashion.
Wait. Let's rewind this. Hold on. I think we have different arguments here. I think we have different. So please stop me if I'm not, and you too, Trevor, if I'm saying something that I'm not being clear. You're saying that America will offer incentives to fight hard to build up our morale, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And what I'm saying is that Russia and China will do the same thing with people in Africa.
Okay.
What are we missing
here? We don't know that though. We don't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, Trevor.
We don't really. We don't.
That's speculative.
Trevor.
Yeah, it's very speculative.
Hold on, Trevor. Trevor, does not China and Russia build hospitals, roads, set up businesses? Do they have vested interests in certain African countries?
Yeah, because they want to eventually take over the land, not necessarily for the good of the people.
Right. So they want to use Africans just like America want to use us. Would you agree with that?
I would, but here's the thing. Once if you exploit, like if Russia and China exploits Africans can always go back to Africa. If America exploits black people, where the fuck are we gonna go? So they legit could give us anything. they could easily say, hey, go fight in this war. I'll cancel your student loan debt, and we right on it.
Yeah.
DMT dark sides of the building.
Like, what's going on out the blue? Because like
Blue,
it's like what he's saying. And then
what's good?
What's good, Blue?
I'm gonna tell you why I think it's speculative to me. Because like you said, okay, we know we're here. We know the culture. We know the climate. We know what we will do for a little incentive. Over there, like you said, yeah, Russia and China may be backing the government, may be sponsoring the government, but you forget about the people. If Nigeria's sons and daughters, if Ethiopia's sons and daughters are killed, you may have a reoccurrence of what happened over here during the Vietnam War. The people may not want, they don't give a fuck about China sponsoring the government when their nephews and their nieces and their people. So the populace, the revolution has always been a populist move. If the populace is anti-war, then there you go. That's gonna, unless they draft and enforce the motherfuckers to go. But if the populace says, hey, this ain't our war, and we don't want our children dying for this, then they're not, it's gonna be like what happened in Vietnam all over again. When the population said we're sick of war.
I was just gonna say that. You know, the Vietnam War to Cambodia with Pol Pot and everything, I agree with what you're saying there. However, right now we're at that stage where Africans in Ethiopia and Somalia saying, "Lo, this ain't got nothing to do with us. We got our grain. We good." And America, not Russia, not China, not Iran, America and the EU are trying to twist the arm of Africans saying, y'all need to choose. And we're saying, yo, this ain't our war. This ain't got nothing. Yo, we took care of ourselves. Like, yo, you talk about African independence. We saw that bullshit coming. We got our own grain. Now they got some goddamn white lady talking about, oh yeah, they're starving in Africa. And my research said, no, we not. Oh, but y'all still got to choose. It's like, what, is that a threat? That sounds like a threat. Oh, you gonna put embargoes on us? So how serious is this shit gonna get, Yanga? Because now they trying to twist the arm, trying to bring us into this goddamn Ukraine-Russia, because fucking Ukraine can't fucking win. But it's all about draining Putin's resource anyway. That's why you got African nations like, yo, this ain't got nothing to do with us. They see the shit. They see this shit.
We have to be the extension of our cousins then. We have to go back. One of the things I saw, you want to talk about a mass Black African in America or melanated people in America movement, us Africans here in America movement, was when they incarcerated Nelson Mandela. I can't believe what he did when he came on, though. It's just a shame. Right. But anyway, when they incarcerated Nelson Mandela and the whole apartheid thing, it was an anti-apartheid campaign so big, I stopped drinking Coke. I know Black people that stopped doing anything that supported apartheid. So this is what we have to go through then. If we know, those are our cousins, the Nigerians, they're our cousins. So how do we over here support that? If they, like, it goes back to, again, like I said, spending and politics we address. Tupac said it. Tupac said his power is in the people and the politics they address. So do we, if Fela Kuti ain't never said that shit.
Man, you what?
You know that's the Tupac original. You ain't gonna try my man Tupac.
Don't go out like Madonna Kimmett. Don't go out like Madonna Kimmett.
I ain't Madonna Kimmett. I have you sweat. I ain't Madonna Kimmett though. That's the difference. Madonna Kimmett man fell short on some areas. You know what I'm saying? I ain't Madonna Kimmett. I have you on here. I'll make you go get a Tupac poster. You'll be his #1 fan, and I'm done with it. You have a bandana on my thug like, what's sweet?
You mean
man.
You mean the one with the baby oil?
You're going too far. You're going too far.
Hey, but hold on, Blue, man. Blue, what's up, Blue? Talk to us, Blue.
What is it, Blue?
Blue, what's up, man? Jump on in, man. We double dutch. Jump on in, man. Shoot, Blue. Come on now.
My fault. Yeah, I'm in the mix. I was just getting one of the kiddos situated for he be all in the background and all of that. He a little bit turned. Oh, but yeah, I think definitely it's been I think we see though the agenda in general. It's been like I think it was. It sounded like I was kind of getting into the exposure in Ethiopia. I think it was of the BBC, kind of lying on them being starving and different stuff like that. Yeah, and I think it's been a constant agenda to kind of make it seem like we won't stop having kids, and the world is who has to take care of these kids that we won't stop having. And and the major part of that agenda too is to kind of, in a way, hold on, big man, it's the kind of it's the kind of in a way eliminate self-worth, you know, our worth in general to the rest of the world. And it to me, it kind of legitimizes, it kind of legitimizes any moves that they decide to make. Whether it be, I think we see with Bill Gates and Melinda Gates, they got a constant effort um, of depopulating Africans through sterilization. Um, yeah, through sterilization, and through many different little motives and means or whatnot. I actually was just looking at it earlier. Bill Gates, one of the things that he was that. Oh, I just lost my mic. One of the things that Bill Gates was actually doing was he was actually he's supposed to be having like a $20 million mission. So it was saying that he gave away another $6 billion, a $20 billion mission. And so of giving it away, they were saying he gave away another $6 billion today or whatnot. But what was funny about it is the money that he given away, he gave it to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, there's money right back into his pocket. Yeah. So you kind of see, you know, on multiple fronts, they work towards that same agenda. And then once again, of course, sucking us into another war. And like you said, to drain Putin's resources and different things like that. But that'll also drain our own resources and destabilize us in those type of countries. So it's like it's kind of a double-edged sword. And then they trying to pressure them into kind of, you know, into basically feeling like they almost have to do it. They don't really have a choice. And because, you know, with embargoes and sanctions, that pretty much says that you aren't a part of the planet, aren't a part of the world. Right. You know, that says they can't trade, people can't, what countries can and cannot trade with you. That's one of the things that's used in order to make communism and different economic systems as other than capitalism look like they can't support themselves.
That's right.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. And that's what we face. I'm sorry. Go ahead, son.
No. Go ahead, Yanga. I was just going to say what Blue was saying, and they're trying to force Ethiopian and Somalia to make a choice. So they're saying we're gonna put embargoes on you if y'all don't make a choice. So that's all I want to say.
Yeah, you know, and there again, it goes back to that's why I say us beginning to exercise the muscle so we can flex the muscle of political, economic, social power. What as those being our cousins, you know, what pressure are we put because we're over here, you know, and so what pressures are we putting on our government or whatever to address these so-called boycotts and sanctions and shit like that. One of the things, you know, this is what gets me about people's adversity to Black nationalism. And I tell them, you see nationalism all the time. Ukraine's a prime example. You don't think the so-called Ukrainian Americans are out there not just protesting, but writing senators and doing everything they can to ensure America's participation in this war? You know, we sit idly back and let America do anything and get lumped in with America. It's hard for our cousins or people to come over here and really see what we're doing because we don't address policies outside ourselves. You know, we don't even address local policies. We don't address policies outside ourselves or policies pertaining to ourselves, from the food we eat to the shit we wear or the images that we allowed to be paraded before the world.
But we address Blackson, NKrumah, and Blue addressing it right now. Because this is just right. It had nothing to do with Black people until now they twisted the arm of that. Y'all got to get involved with it. So now we're addressing it right now, right here, right now.
I think it did have something to do. I think Black people had something to do with it. When we found out that Africans were being discriminated against over there, not being denied shelter, being denied aid and shit like that, being placed last in line. I know I had heard about it. I don't know. Had any of you guys heard about that?
No, I heard about that, but that wasn't Putin. That was the Ukrainian government doing that dumb shit.
Yeah, I started seeing videos pop up.
Right. So I think that Africans were involved then, regardless of what's. See, if we're for Africans, our politics have to be for us. Russia or Ukraine, we have to address the plight of the Africans that were experiencing discrimination and shit like that, at great peril.
It's simple, though. It's simple. I go back and use American history. Get off of Putin's goddamn borders. What the fuck is? What is? It's simple. Get off of his goddamn borders.
That's if you're addressing it. If you're addressing it, if you're addressing it from an American perspective. If we're addressing it from the African's perspective, that to me, that's why I say the beginning of African. But
I'm addressing it from an African perspective. Get off.
If we're addressing it from African, that's Putin's position. If you're addressing it, that's not the African position. That's Putin's position.
Yanga. Let's just say hypothetically, you go to New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're on the subway and you see a man snatch a woman's purse. He done violated her space. He done took her purse. What are you going to do? I mean, you're going to get involved in that, right? Or you might call it out and say, you know what? You might even you should say that is a wrong. What that man did was wrong. So what I'm saying as a human being is that, trying to get NATO to build goddamn, because once you join NATO, you got to buy the goddamn military equipment.
But it's perspective. It's perspective. It's perspective. Like you're saying that's wrong. Wrong for who? It was to the Ukraine. It was to the Ukraine's advantage to be a part of NATO. So it's not wrong from their perspective. You know what I'm saying? To them, it looks like we're being bullied. We're being told if we fuck with these people, you're gonna come in here and you're gonna beat our ass.
No, I disagree with that. First of all,
and that's what he said.
Zelensky made the first move, just like when they in Russia. Georgia. Georgia got the battery in their back. America put the battery in their back and said, you know what? You can stand up to Russia. And Russia was like, what? And marched up in the goddamn Georgia, and the goddamn Georgia president's like, oh my gosh. You know what I'm saying? They were like, America, it was George Bush was in office. Oh, George Bush, help us. You know what George Bush said? Russia, you guys did a bad thing, but I didn't see them running up in there. They didn't run up in there, did they? Hell no.
Okay. How's that? What does that have to do? You can't three-car Monty me. What does that have to do with? What is that? Yes, you are. What does that have to do with right or wrong? It's still America sold them out. It doesn't mean Georgia was wrong for fighting for their independence. So you bow down because somebody's bigger?
No, it's repeated. America's doing the same thing with Ukraine.
It doesn't matter, but to Ukraine, it isn't wrong. It isn't wrong for the Ukraine to want to belong to an organization that will empower them as a nation. For Putin, it's wrong because it's a threat on his borders. But for the Ukraine, they're exercising the right of self-determination. They're exercising the right to decide where they want their nation to go. So it isn't wrong for them.
Bullshit.
How is that bullshit?
Bullshit.
How is that bullshit? How is that bullshit?
Once you join the NATO, you become a puppet of the United States, and Putin knows that shit.
Exactly, but how is that bad for Ukraine, Putin lover?
That's bad for Ukraine.
How is that bad for Ukraine?
We're seeing how bad it's for Ukraine. Putin rushed up in there.
Nah, man, that's apples and oranges. That's apples and oranges. They would have always been cowardly. They would have always been cowardly. If they didn't fight for what they believed in, then they would always been bitches. They couldn't worry about if that's what he believed in, if he wanted to be a part of NATO that badly, and he believed in it, he was supposed to take that damn chance.
Stop it. That's bullshit, gang. I gotta call bullshit.
No, that's bullshit. Why should he bow down to Putin?
First of all,
why should he bow down to Putin?
It's not about bowing down to Putin, man. You see, now
That's
you
what you, why isn't it?
now you 3-card bonding. Now you're doing
How is
3-card
that
bonding.
not bound up? If I'm a
Two
nation,
plus one.
if I'm a nation, and you say, hey, Yang,
Who
join with
doesn't?
me, join with me, and I got you. You gotta do what I say, but I got you. And Trevor say, but I'm neighbors to Trevor. Trevor say, if you fuck with, and he got all the shit. If you fuck with Black Sun, I'm gonna demolish your ass. So I should say, okay, I ain't gonna fuck with Black Sun. That's the right thing to do because somebody's bigger than me or has more shit than I got. Should I not exercise my right to self-determination?
Let's push past the
So how
bullshit.
is that wrong for the Ukraine?
No. Let's push past the bullshit. What is the purpose of NATO?
The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, a unification, peace, and exchange of resources and conflict resolution and all that bullshit they say. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we know it. We know it. We know it.
We brothers right now. We
But-
brothers. Keep it
Okay,
real.
we know that. But what I'm asking you, does a nation have the right to practice self-determination? I don't care if the motherfucker wanted to join the Mickey Mouse Club.
Okay. Self-determination.
Does it have a right to do that?
First, let's define what the fuck NATO is. NATO is strictly an organization to put military shit in strategic positions to surround the country to destabilize their fucking military defense. Straight up. That's what fucking is. Let's just be real. So ain't no self-determination. Ain't no self-determination. It's America's extended wing. Oh, no. Because first of all, they formed NATO to goddamn counteract the Soviet Union. That's number one.
It doesn't matter. If I want to join NATO, if I want to join part of a force to get resources, I don't care why they was founded. It is my absolute right to do that shit. I'm going to suffer the consequences. What you're doing is at the very least, what they believed in. See, what we can't do is two arguments going on. I'm not going to argue pro-NATO, but what you're doing is arguing pro-Putin. You're saying you're pro-Putin. What I'm saying, I'm pro-self-determination. I'm saying every nation has a right to join the motherfucking Cub Scouts if they wanted to join the Cub Scouts. It doesn't matter what NATO is. It doesn't matter what NATO. So you're telling me, here, let me answer you. Here's how you can answer my question with a simple yes or no. Does Ukraine reserve the right to join NATO?
No.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Hell the black sun. Hell the black sun.
Okay.
Hell the black
I'll
sun.
agree with Trevor. Okay, Trevor. I will agree with you if you agree that you take the consequences of joining NATO.
Absolutely.
Nobody's saying that. Nobody's arguing that. What point did you make? You didn't make a point. What point did you make? The point is self-determination. You said Ukraine was wrong. You said Ukraine was wrong for joining NATO. I said that is pro-Putin. It depends on whose perspective. Every nation has a right to exercise self-determination, even if it's the dumbest shit in the world. They reserve their right to make that decision. Putin pulled some bullshit, and he backed up what he said. He said, if you fuck with it, I'm going to get you. And they fucked with it, and he got him.
Right, just like Georgia. Okay, let me ask. Okay, Trevor, you know about the Russia-Georgia conflict back in 2014, do you not?
I didn't. I know about it, but I didn't care about anything back then. So, but I'm aware.
No. That's fine. So you are aware they went in there, they smacked them around, said, "Don't join NATO," and left. Would you agree to that?
Mm-hmm.
So how are they violating their self-determination?
When you don't allow people to, I'm sorry, I'm gonna let Trevor answer. Because I got an answer for it.
No, go ahead and answer, Yanga, because I think I'm gonna go somewhere else with it, and I don't want to bring up the religious stuff. So go ahead.
It is the same thing as the Ukraine, son. When you don't allow people, when you tell people, it's what we're going through. When you tell people, if you make a decision that you wanted to make, I'm going to beat your ass, you are violating my rights to self-determination. I'm not arguing consequences. I'm not arguing, but I'm saying I have a right to natural evolution. I have a right to join NATO if I want to join NATO. I may suffer the consequences, but I have that right. You can't tell me I can't fucking join NATO.
This shit is so hypocritical because when we went in goddamn Cuba, when we went in Cuba and smacked them around, we said none of that fucking Russian missiles on your fucking and got the fucking
and to the Cubans, we were wrong. To America, we was right. No missiles on our borders. To the Cubans, we took their right to self. We took their right. We took the nation's right to armament. We attempted. Russia, we didn't do shit. We lost male pigs. Let that be for the record. But Russia, the European, the devil being the devil, will never ally themselves with brown people, and they never gave Fidel Castro the missile. Let history show. History will show that. But anyway, on the point of the Cubans, they were denied the right to self-determination. We went to war with them, or waged a war, launched an attack because they wanted to exercise self-determination through armament. They wanted to arm their fucking nation.
Okay, so Deacons of Defense said, isn't Putin practicing self-determination by defending himself? Thank you.
Yes, but I'm not arguing. That's not the point. I'm not saying that he's not. What you're saying, everybody.
Self-determination is defense, right? See, we got to get this straight.
No, it's not just defense. Self-determination is not just defense.
Part of this defense.
Self-determination is the right to defy your course and your destiny.
And the right to
defend yourself. According to the right to defend you, and it's the right to defend yourself. But see, son, we're not saying. We're not saying, Rico Monty, watch the hands. Watch the hands. Listen, watch the hands. No, I'm going to tell you, here it is. Nobody is saying, you're trying to introduce a whole nother argument. Nobody's saying Putin didn't, nobody's saying Putin didn't have the right to self-determination. Your argument was Ukraine is wrong. That's your argument. That is pro-Putin. Your argument is Ukraine is wrong. I'm saying it is a matter of perspective.
Let me clarify that. Zelensky is wrong. His bitch ass is wrong. Not the people, because the people had nothing to do with it.
Wrong in what?
Wrong in how, though?
Wrong in what?
How?
Yeah, how is he wrong?
He's wrong for being a damn patsy, first of all. Again, gentlemen, let me just explain this. Let me explain this, Trevor. The war, again, is all about draining, taking away the resources away from the pipeline for Putin. America and Zelensky's bitch ass know he cannot win a war against Russia. They are war tested. They just came from Afghanistan. Dude, like, come on, man. So Zelensky's wrong for that shit.
So,
Blackson, let me ask you a question real quick. Hypothetically, replace Russia and put in Japan. Would you still feel the same way?
Yeah.
I just think you so pro Russia.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about because let me Trevor, let me say this, and y'all can put it on record, and I don't care who plays it back and makes a soundbite of it. I was all for America with the Gibeah pigs. Don't put those fucking Russian missiles. You sound pro-Russia, Trevor? No, don't put those Russian missiles on our fucking border right outside of goddamn Florida. Hell no. I'm for every nation defending its borders. So, no, I'm not pro-Russian because if Russia were to do that
you can't be. That's hypocritical. You can't be. You're not for Cuba. You're not for Cuba defending their borders. You weren't for Cuba having missiles. You sit here and said. No,
I said I'm against.
So you're not for every nation defending their borders. You have your favorites, and Russia is your favorite.
You're hearing something else, Yankee. You're hearing something else. I'm all for America, goddamn, going up in there in Cuba and saying, don't fucking put those goddamn missiles on our goddamn border. That's what I said. I
Okay,
support
but you're not for Cuba. You're
I
not for
support
so Cuba.
campaign.
What if Cuba tried to come in and tell America, you got missiles on my motherfucking border? We launching an invasion because you got missiles on our border. Are you for that?
Then bring yes.
Okay.
I'm for every
Okay.
nation right. This has
Okay.
nothing to do
Would they be right or wrong if they came in and start killing and bombing our schools and our buildings and shit? Would they be right or wrong?
I mean, it's not even about right or wrong. It's about
Oh, it's perspective.
military.
Oh, it's not
Oh,
about
you're
that.
asking me? No, first of all, go ahead, Blue.
Oh,
Go ahead, Blue.
oh,
No, it's about military
oh.
strategy. No, wait. You talking moral, righteousness? I get it, Yanga. I'm talking about a military strategy,
No,
strictly.
I'm talking perspective. I'm
I'm
talking
talking military strategy.
when you use your opinion, that is so American of you, so
That's not an opinion.
colonialist of you.
That's
It is
called.
when you use your
I don't look
opinion for
at
right
nation.
or wrong. When you use
I
your opinion for right or wrong, like you're
I
saying
support.
America was right for invading Cuba for wanting to arm
I said
themselves.
it's militarily sound.
You're saying Ukraine is
I'm
wrong
saying
for
it's
wanting
militarily
to
sound.
join an organization that will put them in a better position strategically and
No,
defense wise. You're
no.
saying Georgia was wrong for fighting for succession from Russia, from wanting their
Military.
liberation.
Our
I
general.
mean, how are they
Hold on.
wrong?
Let me say this. Our generals here has said that shit militarily is the dumbest shit ever that fucking Zelensky did.
Okay,
Our fucking general
okay,
said it. They go, our general
okay,
said it.
but is
The
it
American
no?
general said
Their
that.
general said it. Our generals didn't.
Yeah,
So,
man.
but is it wrong?
Because it's
That's
that
what I mean. You're thinking like the American because he makes a dumb mistake. Because he
no,
does something you wouldn't agree with,
bro.
because
Let
strategically
me say something.
it was a hamburger heel, Custer's last stand, doesn't make him wrong for wanting
I'm
to
not. No,
move
that's not.
for his nation to join NATO.
Yanga. I think you're confusing this whole thing. You keep making this a right or wrong. I'm talking about
You made it right or
military
wrong.
strategy. Man, fuck that right or wrong. That's religion. Fuck that shit. I don't give a fuck about religion. I'm talking about military strategy. It is not a wise military strategy to provoke somebody like fucking Russia when they're right on your goddamn borders, when they fucked up goddamn Georgia. When they fucked up Georgia,
It probably isn't.
America put the battery in Georgia's back and they did not fucking help them. Militarily, that is not something to do militarily.
It may not militarily, it may not be, but
Yeah,
socially,
fuck that
politically, and
right bullshit.
culturally. Listen,
That's that
people
religious.
can only take.
That's
See, that's
that.
the problem with black people. We won't develop a callus of resistance. We will assimilate. We'll homogenize. We will say, you know what? This is a battle we can't win. So let's find a way
Oh, so
to compromise and to
that's
capitulate.
no.
It isn't. Listen, it may not be the most strategic or soundest strategic move, but oppression. When people are oppressed for so long, it will manifest itself in the damnedest ways. Look at them fucking Palestinians strapping bombs on their goddamn selves and running off into places. Oppression, the relief and the
Because they're
fight
religious
against oppression
zealots.
will manifest
Because
itself in a funny
the
way.
Palestinians are religious zealots. That's why they do that shit. Come on now.
They use their religion as an instrument for their end of oppression.
While the Israelis,
because they're ignorant.
While the Israelis kick back and laugh at their ass. Like, look at them dumb motherfuckers.
Absolutely.
Right.
They kick back and laugh. They may kick back, but here, however, if they would, that's why I said the difference between them and us. While we sit back and will stop fighting for liberation because, like you said, motherfuckers are laughing at us. Them motherfuckers, before they suffer that shit, they will put that shit on God and blow themselves up.
Okay,
they'll make a version of God that will give them permission to kill themselves and every motherfucker in the vicinity and detonate the button. That's what I'm talking about. Shit.
No, fuck that. That's not
They
military.
would develop a culture. Even their religious understanding will begin to address their social and political suffering. We will adapt our social and political suffering to somebody else's religious oppression. Turn the cheek, baby. We won't adopt a black God that say, go smite they bitch ass, go kill everybody in the motherfucker. We won't begin to culturally evolve and adapt shit that addresses us. You know what? You're speaking to these Georgians and these Ukrainians. Why I have to applaud these crackers is that they are freedom-loving people to such a that they're freedom-loving people to such a degree that they would rather die than suffer at the hands of some motherfucking oppressors.
Bullshit.
I gotta applaud the people who says, you know what? Fuck it, we got one last swing. We gonna swing at these big motherfuckers. Not kill themselves, but go out fighting. Look at us. I mean, I hate to keep doing us like that. Come on, we get mad at the devil, go home and kick the kid in the head, smack the dog, go out, shoot the neighbor in the motherfucking face. You know what I'm saying? He's right. So, I mean, you have to commend that effort. No, it's not the most strategic thing.
Well, I will say this in defense of black people. Black people will fight when it affects them. That's straight up, okay?
True.
So I will say that about black people. Black people will not get involved. Like that ain't got nothing to do with us. But the minute you cross a brother or sister, then they will take that fight to you. So I give that to black people. However,
Blackson, give me an example on a whole though. You could point out instances, but you can't point out a instance where black people collectively got together and was like, you know what, fuck this, let's just go balls out. You can't show me that.
You know why I can't show you that, Trevor? Because black people here in America are all on different levels. We're all on different levels. We got different religions. We got different.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
Whose fault is that? Nobody.
That's the problem.
I don't think it has to be though. To me, it doesn't have to be.
No, Trevor, I agree with you, Trevor. But black people choose these religions. They choose to buy 22 Dayton's on a damn Denali. You know what I'm saying? They choose these things. They choose the luxuries. Like, yo, black people, we always complain about selling out, but they got something in this capitalism that will feed that need for that luxury that you have. You know what I'm saying? And if not, maybe for your wife, your kids, there's something that the American system has for you to calm down Trevor. Okay, well, Trevor, let's calm down Trevor. Let's calm down Blue. Let's calm down Black Sun. Now Yanga's by itself. Now what you talking about, Yanga? Because now capitalism has supplied Trevor and his family, Blue and his family, Black Sun and his family. Now you're on your own. And now you're saying, no, but what about the revolution? We're like, well, damn.
When you create, if you forget what I said at the offset, that's where you have to create. You and our old colonized asses ain't finna do nothing that create overnight has some utopic black land. You know what I'm saying? What the first thing, like I said, so I think it was Gideon of Reality said earlier, we have to begin to work on ourselves. We have to, that thing really starts with man. That's where if you don't begin, where do you think materialism? What do you think the driving force of materialism is? What do you think the driving? What do you think the driving force of materialism is?
I just said it. Trevor's family, Blue's family.
That is not the driving force of materialism. Family is the driving force of primitive capitalist man. The man that puts family first, the man that puts family first is not a materialist. Because the materialist.
If your family desires these material things, and you as a man will get these things for your family.
Man that puts no material, you have to know what materialism is. Having nice possessions isn't capital. Listen, you got to go back to I didn't know I was going to have to school you, son. You got to go back to the board on revolution. The revolution is not about poverty. The revolution is not about lack and want. That's what the revolution is fighting. There's too much poverty. There's too much lack and want that exists on a whole scale in the Black community for us to live in the richest country, richest nation on the planet Earth. What we're saying is the system that allows this to go on is unjust. One of the things that I believe we have to begin to practice is the art of allowance, the art of tolerance, allowing people to play their lane. The overall objective should be, is it for the advancement of Black people? You know what I'm saying? If it's like
who determines that? Who determines that? Who determines that? Who determines that?
What it manifests determines it. Actions determine it. Action, pimping is not in the best interest of Black people. Do you agree or not agree? It's pimping in the best interest of Black people.
I'm gonna ask Trevor one of Trevor's questions.
Can you answer that question? Is pimping in the best interest of Black people? Is exploitation of women like that in the best interest of Black people?
It's not in my best interest.
Okay. So you feel
it's not the best interest of me and my family.
Is crack cocaine in the best interest of Black people?
No.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, come on, man. It's police brutality. There's certain shit that is not in the interest of. And if you allow, see, one of our things is we're so opinionated and judgmental. If someone isn't tackling the problem, see, it's this cult-like mentality, this monolithic thinking. We think all Black people have to have. If someone isn't tackling the problem the way we think they should tackle the problem, we say they're wrong.
Okay, you're going to an extreme with that. Let's be realistic, okay?
You Borging bad, Black son. You Borging bad.
I'm sorry, say that again, Trevor.
Yeah, you were Borging real bad.
Oh, it's probably my connection. Damn. Okay. How's that now? Shit. Yeah, damn, sorry about that. Yeah, my connection.
Yeah, I can hear you better now.
Okay. Yeah, we might have to continue this on Blues Channel shit, because my damn shit is all.
Yeah.
But let me say this.
And my battery getting low. Yes, say it.
Okay. Hey, Blue.
Yo.
Continue this on your channel?
Yeah, we do that.
My batteries, I got to let my phone charge up for a minute. I'm at 9%.
Hey, I didn't think we was gonna be on here so long, man. I just want to thank you guys for letting me come on the panel, man. I definitely got to do this again.
Hey, man, definitely, Trevor. Definitely, man. We appreciate having you on. Yeah, son, we done went over our out, man. We going on.
Hey, we going into 2 hours.
Shit, we way over. Listen.
Hey, we gotta do a part 2, man. But hey, Blue, hey,
Blue, bring your ass back on here when we do the part 2. I know you would sound like you had your hands full.
This my
I know you had your
That's a definite.
Son, you need to cut your shit out, son.
What are you talking about?
You need to cut that shit out, man. Hey, Trevor, man, we appreciate you being up. We gonna have a part, that 3-card Monte you tried to pull. We gonna have a
Please show me the 3-card Monte, because you know I'm from LA. We don't do the 3-card Monte in LA. They might do it up in San Francisco, but we don't do it in LA. We don't do it in LA. I can't speak for San Francisco.
Okay. Yeah. Nah, man, listen. I enjoyed the show. Great show. Appreciate everybody that hung out. Definitely Blue, man, for following through. I know you're gonna come back through, Blue. We gotta get a part 2.
We got to. Hey, Blue, bring back Scheme with you next time too, man. Bring the whole dark side, baby. Dark side.
Yeah, definitely. I have Scheme in the base, definitely.
Yeah, bring shit. All right, man. With that, man, I'm out on you guys, man.
All right, y'all. I'm out, man. All right, man. Appreciate it.
Okay. Deacon, I appreciate you, baby. We'll see you next time.
All right, we out, y'all. Peace.